Hi, my name's Andy, and this is Hiking with Andy. Hi guys, how are we doing today? It's pretty windy, but the weather is gorgeous. I couldn't pass this up, and I'm doing a new trail that I've never done before. It says it's moderate, and you can either hike, bike, or ride your horse on it. So, we will see how this goes, and I'm excited. The question is always, do you start on the right side or the left side of the hike or the loop? It really doesn't matter. You're gonna go around the loop either way, but I always tend to go to the right side, especially with how this is set up. I like to kind of finish closer to where my car is. I will say one of the downsides to going on a horse trail is you have to deal with the aftermath of horses. So I know this area has timber rattlesnakes. I wasn't on this specific trail, but I was around this area. And we didn't find timbers per se, but we found like perfect habitat, and just knowing county records and observational records, there are timber rattlesnakes out here. I do remember what I found while we were out here the last time was slimy salamanders, which was really cool to see. They're one of my favorite salamanders. They have lungs, which means they're big. They're pretty big, and they're one of the only salamander species that you're gonna find kind of in the woods. Still has to be pretty wet, but they're really pretty. They're all black with white spots on them, and they get really big. Going back to what I was saying about timber rattlesnakes is, yes, Missouri has rattlesnakes. As I remember, it's timber rattlesnake, Massasauga, prairie Massasauga rattlesnake, pygmy rattlesnake. I think there's 3. I'm not super versed in rattlesnakes. Honestly, the only ones that I have ever seen have been over in southern Illinois off of Snake Road, and those were timbers. Missouri does have rattlesnakes, and timber rattlesnakes in particular are pretty interesting, and I've done a lot of research about them. They're like very large-bodied rattlesnakes. The pygmies in Missouri, you might not be able to even hear them rattle because they're so small, but the timbers are for sure you can hear them. When I say rattlesnakes, people like obviously freak out because venomous, there's some concern there. But I was doing some research in 2024, and in North America as a whole, there were about 900 people who were bitten or envenomated by rattlesnakes, not just timbers, but rattlesnakes in general, throughout all of North America. And of those people, I want to say like 3 actually perished. So the fact that like we have such good anti-venom and ways to make sure you don't die from venomous snakes is really reassuring. And actually how they make anti-venom is really interesting as well. So yes, Missouri has rattlesnakes. We also have cottonmouths and copperheads, which are also venomous, but you very rarely have any issues with them, and if you do, you can always go get help. You rarely do die from rattlesnakes. So don't let the fear of snakes keep you from being outside. I have a question. How do people feel about trail cams? I mean, I feel like sometimes, well, it's a Survivor dry box. I wonder. Bike supplies. Actually, that's awesome. PayPal or Venmo. There's a tire and there's air. That's actually really cool. I thought it was a trail cam, so I was wrong. But how do you guys feel about trail cams? I think they're interesting. I don't particularly like seeing them when I'm on a trail because I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of feel that weird, like I'm being watched sensation. Can you imagine just like how massive that tree used to be? Like if this is the base, I'm sure that tree was so beautiful and big. Just noticing like how pretty it is over here because all of the trees are starting to get the green little buds, And just like how the light is hitting everything right now, it's just like so pretty. There's more of these massive oaks that have been cut down. But like, look how big these guys are. Trees are so cool, honestly. If reincarnation were real, I would either want to come back as a bird, or honestly, being a tree would be pretty dang cool. This is why I came out here, for little areas like this. I mean, if I were a timber rattlesnake, I would just be chilling in here. I was talking with my friend lately, and he was talking about Swiss cheese formations, like rock formations, kind of. And I think he was telling me that this is kind of indicative of more like dolomite versus limestone, but isn't it kind of cool that like this just like naturally occurs? It is exactly like Swiss cheese. Man, there's just like all these little flowers that are blooming right now. It's so pretty. I can get this butterfly. Yeah, I think that's a swallowtail. The butterflies are out today. Wow. There's another butterfly. Whatever these flowers are, I'm gonna have to ask my botanist friend what kind of flowers these are and why these particular butterflies might be pollinating them, because I have not seen, I'm pretty sure that's a swallowtail, but I have not seen those guys in a long time. Really cool to see though. I was right, it's a ringneck. I was like, this rock looks way too good. Alright, so this is another ringneck snake, and his colors are pretty brownish gray. I've seen a lot of them that are way more jet black, and his ring is very similar to the one that we found recently in that it is pretty slim and similar to his belly coloration. Now, his belly is pretty pastel because he is in shed phase. His eyes are blue. Essentially, you can tell they're in shed phase because they have this blue kind of coloration over their eyes, because the skin over their eyes does also shed when they shed their skin. So he's kind of in this state of like, he cannot really see right now. He's probably just chilling under a rock until he can shed and then see a lot better. But yes, this is the second ringneck snake of the season, and it is getting really windy out here. Well, this is definitely, wow, okay. And there's a butterfly again. I definitely underestimated this overlook. Wow. Very pretty. Really cool, and lots of dolomite. But yes, I completely underestimated this area for it to be a nice overlook. And I think we caught it at a really pretty time. Oh, I had to come down here and investigate this. It looks too good. Turns out, the rockiest portion and the most actual glade type environment is on the back side of the trail. And when I went to the right, I should have gone to the left. This is like a perfect spot to just come out here on a hot day and see what is hanging out on the rocks. This is not really a flippable area, but there is plenty of life, I guarantee it. Pretty sure this is all south facing. Like this hillside is all south facing. Yes, there's moss growing on it. Sometimes they used to say, you know, moss tells you direction. I'll tell you, moss kind of grows wherever it feels like, so that's not always true. But this seems like a southward facing hillside, and that's actually one of the requirements for timber rattlesnakes as well. Honestly, I should have just come over on this side and gone and looked in all of the crevices when it was the warmest, and now it's like later in the day and everything's probably like super tucked up in there. But now I know, and I don't have to flip to be able to see things out here. But no, this is really, really good habitat for lots of different types of reptile species in addition to just timbers. That's a black racer, a blue racer. He went under the rock. This is the spot you find snakes on the crawl, and I tripped up on my words because normally I see black rat snakes a lot more than I see blue racers. And he was gorgeous. He went under that rock. I'm gonna try to zoom in on the footage a little bit. Dang, I wish I could have got better footage of him, but that's usually how you find them. The blue racers are like on the crawl, they go under something real quick, and then that's the last you see of them. I guess I'm gonna continue to walk through these areas. Hopefully there's another snake just sitting out. That was awesome. I mean, you guys didn't get to see what I got to see, but did you hear the owl? Wow. Nature said, hey Andy, I know you weren't expecting much from us today, but don't you worry. Yeah, so I guess this is what happens when you go to a new area for the first time, is that sometimes you take the exact opposite way you should on a trail. That is one of the bigger bodied snakes, actually the biggest bodied snake I have seen this season. That is species number 3. Wow. I guess I just wish I would have gotten better footage of it for you guys. From what I saw, you could just see his tail in the video, but I saw him kind of laying out. And those snakes, you know, when they're laying out like that, they're ready to go. They're ready to get going if they feel like they're in danger. And obviously, I'm kind of a scary predator. So he went and he booked it. He raced it away, you know. So very thankful for that. And then there was like 2 or 3 tree frogs calling. And then I'm just standing there. I was like, that is an owl. That is for sure an owl. I'm pretty sure it was a barred owl. Those are the most common in Missouri. And from what I have heard, they're called, you know, that's like what I think of when I think of an owl. So now I'm trying to beat the sunset. I did not think I was going to be out here for that long. I thought like an hour and a half tops, but I did realize that I wasted all of my time on the not good part of the trail. So, okay, I think, yes, I did make it back to the parking lot. All right, so I did make it to the car. I mean, the curly hair is just, it's just glowing in the sun right now. Anyway, Really epic hike. I did waste so much time on the wrong side of the trail. Have to come back. If there's blue racers out there, like that was like easily 3.5, 4 foot blue racer, very healthy adult sized blue racer. There has got to be plenty of other species. I know for sure there's timbers out there just based off the habitat type. We saw ringneck snakes. Like, it's here, okay? It's all here. We got to just pick the right day to come and don't waste our time on the other side of the trail. It was also really cool to hear that owl at the end, and then there was like tree frogs. I mean, it was like everything was super quiet, and then the last 30 minutes of everything just like exploded, which is like, I get it because it's right before sunset, but man, if I could have had the last 30 minutes for the first hour and a half, that would have been perfect. But I appreciate you coming along with me. I promise the next time there's a big snake, I'll get a better like video of it or a picture, or like I will hold it. Like I easily will. That blue racer just like went under that rock real quick. So appreciate you tagging along on this adventure, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please like, subscribe, all the things, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day, and get outside. It's finally nice. So please get outside. I'll see you. Bye.